Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heartlines, and this is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. I'm your host, Franca. Tonight on the show with me today is Tommy Akimbobola, my Japa guy.
You dey follow Japa. I dey Naija. I no go
Yeah, they
anywhere.
go anywhere. So, well, the whole heart and everything.
It's a Japa
It's a
topic now,
Japa
so I say
topic.
make I give them Japa look now.
We also have Precious. Precious, how are you? Hello, Precious. Can you hear us? I don't think she's here.
What about Joe?
Is Sajo
I
online as
can't
well?
hear you people.
Okay, can you hear us?
I don't know what's wrong. I logged out and come back in, but I still can't hear.
But we can hear you
Oh, we
clearly.
can hear you clearly. Okay, is Sajo online? Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so today on the show we're discussing the Japa syndrome and how it affects marriages if it's worth it. So a lot of people have left the country in the past 3 years because of the way the economy is. They're going for greener pastures, like they say. But Tommy, do you have what's your opinion? What do you think about this whole Japa thing and how it affects relationships? Because it's been on for a while. Because I know that a couple of people already sent their family like years before, but it wasn't this bad. So but there are factors that you now begin to experience, or things that happen when you have families living in two different countries. So, but what do you know about, what's your opinion or your thoughts on this Japa thing?
Well, I think Japa really came in the year 2000, even though it's been there for a while.
Okay.
Sorry, 2020, not 2000. And obviously, it's because of the rates at which people don't have jobs, and of course, the opportunity for moving out came in, especially when Canada decided to recruit or taking people at a larger scale. So yes, some people actually did need it or do need it, while some people do it out of peer pressure. Some they feel, okay, my friend has traveled, all my friends have gone, maybe I should do the same, and probably it's not even the best. Now on the good side, it's an opportunity to expose yourself to different cultural experience, different values, a different way of life, and what have you. But for me, the question is, it's uncertainty. You're not clear what's coming out of this travel. Yes, you know that there are a lot of opportunities for you if you travel, but it's not clear. Okay. Now bringing it to marriage. Are both parties willing to travel together? Now, what if one of the spouses has something going on for them here in the country? Maybe they're doing well at their job, and all of a sudden, maybe the husband says, "You know what? Let's leave the country." Is he dictating it, or are they sitting down to have an open conversation if it's worth it? Okay, now if they're sitting down to have an open conversation to check if it's worth it, then awesome. But if it's imposing it on her, then it means you're taking away her life from her. Because really, when you get there, what's there for her? She's more or less going to start all over again and it's not even sure because you don't know what you're going to meet there. You're basically going to start all over, to see what you can, do for yourself from there. Yeah, and a spouse that is willing to even relocate again with her spouse voluntarily means, let me say, she loves the spouse. She's willing to take the sacrifice to, explore some other greener pastures and see the possibility of, making it over there. But in the long run, to cut the long story short, my personal opinion about Japa is relative. I think it should be related to an individual person's decision. For me, I'm not really a Japa person. I think I wanted to before. Now, before I wanted to, I know there's been a time my father used to tell me, "Guy, travel, leave Nigeria. There's nothing here in Nigeria. Leave Nigeria." I'm telling him, "No, I'm not going. This is where I think I'm going to, make it, And of course, thank God today, things are going on fine. And I don't for once regret not, traveling. But a time came in 2020, which is why I said that was the period of Japa, when I saw all my friends, everybody's traveling. Okay, me too, should we travel or not? And at that time too, my wife's business was already springing up. She was having something going for herself. And I thought about it. It would be selfish for me to say, okay, let's travel because I want to travel. And I know that my wife's business, I mean, there's a future, I mean, from what we've seen so far. It wouldn't be fair on me to tell her, let's go. And I asked her, what do you think? Would you like to travel? She said, no, just want to travel, just to face her business. Okay. I'm not doing bad myself, so let's as well stay back and, strive and see what we can do for ourselves. Pretty much. I think that's my opinion about.
Okay, so I would not want to actually question why people leave, because everybody has, their reasons for wanting to leave. But now, how it affects relationship, that because the culture thing. So for some reason, from the issues I have seen in certain relationships, or people who have jackpot, in fact, I would share 2 cases of people I've seen that had issues. I think the African culture, in one way or the other, protects the marriage.
Okay.
Do you understand?
So now you want to speak about the cultural values there versus ours.
So what I'm speaking about is for people who have left Nigeria abroad, and how it has affected their marriage. So you see, you find out that because they are in Nigeria, and then the culture, they don't react
in
certain ways like they should react. But the minute they leave, they are exposed to real self-awareness. They see it, and they put themselves in there, and they begin to practice it. So, 2 cases that I want to share. I know these 2 people. So, the lady left. She said she was going to school. The guy was here with the children. Before the whole Japa thing, they were having issues, marriages, quarrels, this one, suspects, things like that. But they were patching the marriage. So the guy left, the lady left, was supposed to go to school. And then maybe close to where she was almost done, the guy was here with the children. Close to where she was already done. In fact, she came to Nigeria to see the husband after a year or something, see the children. And they started planning, the guy sold his things, did everything. And they now started applying. When you go for school, I think there's a way you're dependent. You now become dependent on the lady, with whoever is there.
Whoever is responsible.
The applicant, yes.
The applicant, rather.
Yeah. So he sold everything, and they planned to leave.
And he was dependent.
He was her dependent with the children. The wife
and she was the
already
principal?
left. Yeah, she was the principal.
That's Erekere.
No, but they didn't have any issues. At the airport,
Erekere.
the woman asked for the children's passport, that she wanted to use it. That she asked for all the passport, that she wanted to go and check something. The guy wasn't suspecting anything. She took the passport, did as if she was going somewhere, came back, gave the guy the passport, and said, "This is where it ends." The guy has not seen his children. Like, I know him personally. The guy hasn't seen his children.
After selling his own property.
Everything.
I'm sure they probably sat down to have an open conversation.
Told me, whatever it was, I'm telling you what happened at the airport. They didn't leave. The lady took the children. The guy was just looking at her. He was in shock. She took the children and left.
But
and
they're still in the airport.
Later, I'm telling you.
No. If they're still in the airport, he
was in shock. He was in shock. And then months later, she cancelled the guy's dependency, that they're not together, that the guy has been. She did videos. In fact, she staged videos where she was injured, different things, to say the guy was beating her, blah, 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 blah,
was
blah.
he beating her?
Told me I was not there. I'm just telling you a story. Like, I know them. You understand? At some point, I even asked him, have you ever laid your hands? But I'm saying what happened. And that's how that marriage ended. So, the jackpot thing, did he favor the guy? He hasn't seen his children, till now. But that's just one story. There are other stories that we've heard, like how they go, the woman now says, this is not Nigeria, that you were behaving anyhow, things like that. So you find that the guys are now trying to adapt into being like different people, because a different person, because they're in a different country entirely. Some people are patching it, and is working. But you find out that that's why a lot of men have refused to move with their wives. You find out that a lot of them are here and the women are there. So they are both in separate worlds, you know. But let's quickly go on the break. I'm sure there are more stories to share and a few people have to join. But let's quickly go on the break. When we come back, we'll share more small stories and light into this Japa matter.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Okay, so please note that you can share your story via our WhatsApp number 081-9038-4663 or call to join in this conversation on 07025007749 or 07014242420. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. So I think I have Precious back and Sajo. Precious, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Sajo, I greet you. You dey hear us?
I greet you, madam. How are you today?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Good evening, Sergio.
Good evening, Precious. How are you?
I'm good too.
Why don't you see your face now?
Good evening.
Why aren't you seeing your face?
No.
Sajo doesn't want you to see him.
We are still trying to decide the impact of the suspension of governors.
That's my predicament right now.
I was going to say, as Nigeria happened to you guys, apparently.
It has happened though.
It's sad. Okay, Sajo, please, your thoughts on the Japa syndrome, you know, and how it affects marriages. Is it worth it? You know? Before you guys came on the show, I just shared the story of a couple that I know that the wife left. A year later, the guy was supposed to join the wife with the children, and at the airport, the lady just took the kids and told the man that that was the end of the relationship, that she don't suffer a lot for the man hand for Nigeria, and she wasn't going to continue with that that sort of lifestyle. So, Sajo, please, you want to share something regarding this?
Now, if this was a yesterday's program, I probably would have had a different view. But with the recent events that's happened in our country, I mean, the climax being the proclamation that happened today, and the uncertainty of the position of our law, I cannot condemn anyone who has elected to Japa.
Okay.
Now, if we are narrowing it to the impact on marriages, of course, it is rather unfortunate that most of the persons who have left this country in search for the supposed golden fleece of a better life end up in very precarious position. Most of them become desolate, and in some cases, their marriages are severely hit by it. So generally speaking, it is okay to search for better life, for better living. But what I always say to people is that if it's not working here, it will not work there. So if you think that relocating would improve your relationship, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. It will even get worse. But if you have developed an arrangement that works here, where particularly you have mutual respect for each other, and where you are not being the African man, then of course you would develop greater affection and growth in the Western world. That's my take for now.
Okay, so Sergio, but again, how does that work? Because I need you to break it down. Because I'm sure you have cases of where people have gone and it has ended their marriage, and you also have situations where they have gone and they won't have better relationship. So I understand what you're trying to say, but I need you to break it down because a lot of people don't understand what you mean by if it's not working here, it won't work over there. They'll think, oh, it's because their marriage is not working, or they'll think the marriage is not working because they have laws abroad that favors the woman.
But the truth is that, of course, there are laws abroad that favors the woman better than the man. And we have cracked jokes over time that it is first the woman, the children, the pets, and if you assist the man.
Even pets before man. Oh, wow.
Tommy, please.
Toby said what?
Tommy
I
said,
said even pets before man. I said, now, wow.
Yes, that's a fact. Your dogs will be of greater value than you when you live. And now I've had friends, I have some very funny stories.
Sergio,
in the
please share.
West,
Okay.
I'm not going to share some of these stories because if I start sharing, they will know that I'm directly talking about them. But frankly,
no, Sergio, don't call names. No, Sergio, don't call names. Just share.
I think I will not
just
call
teach
names.
people.
He said they will know they are talking about. He's talking about them.
Okay. For instance, someone relocated. Now this is to Canada, and I make this not sound like them. And then, the marriage was not so fantastic here. I mean, in fairness. And these are my very good friends, very close friends. So when the guy muted the idea of relocation, and I asked him, I said, guy, you when your wife got the arrest for Nigeria already, now you won't go abroad.
Why don't arrest for Nigeria?
And this is someone who I've had to rescue several times, so I have to move to my house after police arrest and some very unfortunate situation in his homes. And they relocated. And then I was in US with the family holidaying, and I got a call. Talk. Talk to your brother. Talk to your this. I said, okay, you know what? Calm down. Where are you? The lady in question had driven 6 hours from one province to the other. And the guy thought it was a joke. And but by the time the guy woke up to reality, first of all, he didn't know why the lady moved. Because he thought they were good, they were cool. He went to work and the lady packed the boys and left. And then long story short. Now, this guy went to this new province and are you being, once you move from point A to point B, you begin to change your documentations and everything. I said she's not going back to the other side. And I said, okay, I'm not coming to this side. They thought it was a Nigerian thing. After my families would talk and blah, blah, blah. It didn't work. One day I got to the new side and I saw a man walking out of the house. And the son said, he asked the son, who is this guy? And the son said, that is mommy's friend who lives with us.
Huh?
Yeah, and the guy was like, he lost it.
After how
But
long?
luckily he had control. What?
So this move was
He
how
was
long?
able to control his emotions. You see what?
No, you know, you said she drove 6 hours. So what's the period? How long was this before the man went?
No, the man went after about a few weeks when they asked, and she said she's in city or staying there. Okay, you know what, stay here. Started paying bills, started paying double bills. So you're paying here and there.
Okay.
And then one of those trips of coming to see the kids, he's gone out in the house.
So was it up to 6 months, 4 months, 1 year, or something?
What does it matter whether it was 2 months, 4 months, or 2 days?
Maybe they were not together anymore.
But it was less than a year.
Okay.
They were not together anymore, and he's paying your bills. He's coming every now and then to see you. How about now? They were still married.
So what now happened?
Seriously married.
Tommy can never relocate.
You say what?
Tommy will never relocate. He has moved position like 3-4 times because of this story. He will never relocate.
We're not.
It's
You
just
see.
appalling.
At the end of the day, it has to do with, frankly, it has to do with balance of interest. It is very difficult. Today, I'll come back to that story just to address your statement that you will never relocate. It is very difficult to plan the future of your children that you truly love into this Nigeria. So that may be the one and only reason why he would want to consider relocation somehow. But back to our story, and the guy was crying and he said to the white mother, "Oh, come, it's my wife. I'm a debtor man. If my wife is doing XYZ with you, it's going to affect me. I'm going to." The guy said, "Hey, I didn't know you were married." And he told you, can we stop this? Can he leave? The woman said, "No, if this guy leave, I leave." So the guy carried 2 left leg, went back to his province. As we speak today, that woman is married to this white guy. And our dear friend who went in search of better life is now all by himself. And hopefully he would find a better life someday. Now, that does not say that there are no positives, But unfortunately, and for those who are thinking of relocation, 8 out of 10 of my friends and persons I know, acquaintances who have relocated, their marriages are moving towards the south or it has hit the rock.
8 out of 10.
That's a high statistic.
That's a high statistics.
It is very high. It is very high. And that is because, in my view, of the thinking and the mentality of the Nigerian mind. And with kindest respect to women, I'm happy we are 2/2 here, so I can say this. With the kindest respect to women do not forgive. Unfortunately. If you offend a woman where she's weak,
is that true?
The moment she now has power for vengeance, she will take that vengeance against you in the most cruel way, and you will not know when and how you offended her. She could tell you about what happened in 1984 and give you the exact place, the time, and the shirt you're wearing. On the 4th of November 1984, it was a Sunday. You were wearing a striped pink shirt, and you said this to me, "I will never forgive you." And I've lived together for 30 years after that event.
Sergio, you're being partial here. So I don't want to I'm trying to avoid this conversation, but the truth is, That high statistics.
I
Obìnrin.
speak from point of
Okay.
Fair
No
women.
problem.
interacting with both sex.
No problem.
Obìnrin.
Sergio, but I agree. Okay, fine. There's no problem. But you see, the high statistics you just mentioned, why didn't you say that it's as a result of the culture and what the women, if, like you said something, you said if you have a good relationship here and you relocate, you would even get a better relationship because you have boundaries, you respect each other. That was the first thing you said. So that
Yes.
means that the people
Yes.
who are hitting the rock, they were doing something wrong in their relationship, whether you like it or not. There was something wrong, fundamentally wrong with that relationship. And
I'm not liking it on. I'm not liking it on. I stated that from inception that a lot of them built their marriages on wrong foundation. And when they got to the West, where couple were equal or the husband is a bit less, the woman realized that I can no longer take this from you. And then your inability to accept the new order would be the reason you begin to have frictions in your marriage, and which would cascade into dissolution or separation.
okay, Sergio,
So
please.
I completely agree with you that it is mostly because their foundation here was wrong.
Sergio, please, as an elder and a Bini man, please tell us what you mean by wrong foundation in the marriage.
Now, the default foundation of marriage in Nigeria setting is inequality. It's oppressive against women. It is dictatorial. It's tyrannic, and sometimes it's cruel against women. Now, it is not because they intentionally want it that way, but that is what they have come to understand as the structure of marriage. And let me give you a traditional example of how all of this came from. If you go to a regular village setting, that's the way the family house is built in the villages. Not now that we have houses all meshed together. You know, they have the place where the man lives, which is at the front. Then they have the courtyard in the middle, and then his wife stays at the back. You only come to his apartment when you are invited for purpose of consummating the marriage or serving him or servicing him. Now, again, in that same setting, he apportions land to you to farm, the proceeds of which is returned to him mostly for his benefit of his children, and a little part of them you sell, and from from what you sold, you will buy ingredients for making food for him again. While on his part, he says, and then he keeps all by himself, and possibly use it to entice other women if he wants to marry more wives. That is the foundation upon which marriage was built over time. So now you live in a setting where a man sees himself as lord over his wife. In Africa, default setting. Now, over the time, this has been watered by, of course, the female advocacy and their ability to speak up and say, no, I won't take this anymore. This is not how it should be done. So we're having a liberal traditionalist. And then even with the liberal traditionalists, they still feel that the privileges are gifted to their wives, and it's not a right. So when they give you those privileges, they expect in return some worshipping acts to say, okay, it's a privilege and I can withdraw it at will. These are the foundations that, in my humble view, I think are faulty.
Okay.
Because for you to truly grow and enjoy marriage, you must be equals with distinct responsibilities.
Thank you.
Spot on.
Spot on. But again, Sergio, and then you went further to say, but no women, they don't forgive. Should
Yes,
they
they don't.
forgive?
Why not? God know they forgive.
I didn't ask you.
Okay.
Yes.
Should they
Yes.
forgive?
Let me tell you why everybody should forgive, not just women.
Okay.
You see, the reason you forgive, first of all, is for your own mental state.
Exactly.
Okay.
Unfortunately, most of the burden carry of forgiveness is on us. The person you are not forgiving may not even know he or she has wronged you. And every day, your face is swell up, you squeeze face,
As
nobody
in, you just wonder what they happen. You know?
And then some not really send you face what they want, they will still get it from you and how they want it. So yes, I think we always forgive. I mean, in every relationship beyond marriage, if you're not able to forgive, then you have no reason to be in a relationship. Be by yourself. Because we will always offend that. Some could be intentional, some could be, but there's no way we'll live together within the same space or enjoy a relationship that will not falter and offend each other. It's a given.
Okay, so Sergio, I hear you and I kind of agree, but then don't you think forgiveness should come when the person is even trying to change? For example, so we have moved abroad and you're still wanting to behave, you understand, continuing the way you were behaving before. And I'm like, okay, so you know what? Something triggers, whether you like it or not, something triggers these things. Fine, I haven't forgotten the things that happened before we came here. And then we're here, you still do not want to change. You want to act the way, and you expect me to understand. Is that not wickedness?
Yeah, it's wickedness.
Do you understand? Let's leave whatever has happened in Nigeria. We come here. We're saying, okay, we're here. We want to do things right. Now you even know that, okay, I'm aware this is not how we should be. And maybe you expect us to do certain things, you understand, together. You now want us to behave the way we were behaving when we were in Nigeria, when I didn't even have power. But now, why don't you see it as me trying to fight for myself instead of wickedness? You have been doing something to me and I've never reacted. And now you want to continue doing that same thing to me. And now I realize that I have the strength. I have a voice. Shouldn't I use it?
Yeah, you can use it, but some of you misuse the power.
Tommy, don't say some of you misuse the power. That's a wrong statement to make. And let me tell you why I say that. You have been doing something. Do you understand? You didn't think you were misusing the power when you were in Nigeria because it wasn't affecting you directly. Now we're somewhere. And I just do it once. You have been doing something for the past how many years? You didn't think you were misusing that manpower. And I just strike once and you think I'm misusing my power. Why would you say that? That's selfish.
Yeah, so when I say misuse power, not that person, I'm generalizing it. Some misuse the power.
What we're saying, we're not talking about people that are misusing it. We're saying, here now, this is what. Why don't you see this as somebody who is trying to say, I am tired of going through the same thing. I don't want to go through it again. And I'm happy that he mentioned I was a white guy.
And the next drastic step is to,
Listen,
move to another person.
you're not saying, this is where I want Precious to come in. Precious, please, as a counselor, the fact that the woman is not dating a black guy, she's dating a white guy, what does that tell you?
It doesn't tell me anything. No.
She has met someone with a different mentality.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Somebody who is showing her another facet to being loved,
Thank you.
being appreciated.
Thank you.
So
And even if you want to talk about men who cheat,
let me talk my mind.
even if you want to talk about men who cheat, sometimes it's the same thing. So they meet a girl who shows them something different from what their wife is showing them, and they fall for the girl. So the same thing happens to the woman. We're not saying what she did is right or wrong. We're just saying, if it was the man that did it, we'll be more understanding. Why can't we be more understanding as it is a woman?
Exactly.
Right or wrong is irrelevant. You do,
Exactly.
I'm a forgive you. If I do, I'm need to
Yes. You
forgive
say
you.
forgive
So
me.
my question is, why the focus on why is it a white man and not a black man?
Because we're trying to tell you that she has experienced something
A
that's
cultural
different.
thing.
A cultural thing.
So it means
The white
all
man
white
will treat
all
Tommy.
white men have a
Tommy,
different.
let me tell you, whether you
She
like
went
it
for
or
the
not.
card. She went to
Which
become a
card?
permanent citizen, Jare.
Which card? She went with card. Which permanent citizen? Sajo, was it because of
Because she
paper?
also wants peace of mind.
Now, card.
Wait, Sajo, was it because of paper?
No, no, no. They left the country with PR. Yeah. So they were going to, yeah, permanent residence. So it was not a card thing. But let me quickly say this. You see, when it comes to the other gender, what you prioritize is very distinct from what we see as life. You know, I have met a very churchy lady, married. We ran into each other at Heathrow. She in Nigeria, she's a church girl, and she said she was going to spend 2 weeks in London and blah blah blah. And I said, oh, okay, what will you be doing? She said that she came here to tick off her what do people call that list? Like, is it buckets or something?
Yeah, I
Bucket
think a
list.
Cake
bucket
bucket.
list.
A bucket list, rather.
Yeah. Yes, I wanted it to come from the ladies. To be calm down. so that she was there. I was like, okay, which of them? She that she wants to have a white guy. I was like, And she wants to have a white guy threesome. I was like, okay, why white guy? It's okay, it's a one-off thing. That won't happen again. The person will know me, the person will see me, and blah blah blah. The lady who left her husband, the white guy, it's not because the white guy had the husband. No. It's because for some reason, maybe they didn't have fantasy all this while. Okay, I could have a cast check. I could go there. And unfortunately, it was pre-planned. It was prearranged from when they were leaving this country.
Wow.
She knew clearly the pattern. She knew what she was aiming for. She knew how she was going to achieve it. And
My point exactly.
you see, I say to guys, most times we think we are smart. Women are planners. If you really grow in your relationship, hand over planning to your wife. If you're lucky, she plans. If you're unlucky, she plots.
Oh, I like that. I
If you're
like
unlucky, she
that.
plans. If you're unlucky, she plots. That one, I'm mad, though. Deep.
I'm telling you.
So they plan everything, and you will benefit from it, and then you are the one who will suffer from the plot if you become unfortunate. But the point to be made is that, my view, personally, I think the only justification you have as a person to be in a relationship, whatever described, is the guarantee that you are making a person who elects to be in a relationship with you happier and better.
Thank you.
The day you are no longer able to achieve that, it will only be right for you to allow that thing move on in search of a thing which will make her happier and better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Spot on. So it's not about, you understand, it's not about whether or whether not. Do you understand? It's about, at the end of the day, how your foundation in every relationship. See, whether you like it or not, it's not just marriage. How you treat people is very important. How you treat people. And then you see, the thing about treating people right is, for some reason, you would always get the reward. You would enjoy it. People who have done
If
things
not from
right.
them, if not from the universe.
Sajo, what did you say?
I agree with you that you will always enjoy it. I say, if not from people you treat right, the universe will reward you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, the painful part is when you are doing something wrong, but justifying it because you are in a society that encourages it.
Yeah.
It's wrong. And then when you go somewhere else, it's difficult for you to adapt because you're already used to a pattern. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying what the lady did was right, you know. And I'm just saying basically, you know, I'm just trying to say, oh, this is what it is. But I have a friend.
I'm glad you said that.
Yes, I have a friend. I've known him, like we have been friends before I even got married. You know, I actually met him through my husband, you know. Correct guy. Good guy. Fine man. When you say fine, man, fine. Told me whether I fine like I told me you're not handsome.
Excuse me.
So fine, tall, and everything. Very good friend. So he got married to this lady. And guess what? Excuse my language, but the man is a finer man than the lady. So you will know that he actually loves this lady.
The
That's
what?
why
I didn't get that.
I said the man is a lot finer, handsome compared to the lady. So you will know that he actually married this lady because of affection, not because she was pretty. And then they were having issues, you know. Now the guy, when I tell you, say, if they want knack,
Okay, go struggle
he will
first.
struggle first. So they were having issues in Nigeria, but guess what? The guy did not think it was that bad. He gathered money and relocated with the wife.
Okay,
They left their kids here.
okay.
Guess what?
Huh?
They left their kids in Nigeria and they both relocated together. They just wanted to go and see and set up things and then get the children to
Okay.
come.
Okay.
When they got there, the wife has never worked, the woman never worked in Nigeria. The guy was the one providing everything for this woman. They got to Canada and the guy said, you know what, this is not Nigeria. We have bills to pay and I need to send money back home. While we're settling, we still have to I still have to be bringing money from Nigeria. You know how it is, you know. The woman said she was not going to do anything. The guy said, but it can't work.
They didn't have a conversation before going.
They did have a
And
conversation.
did she agree she was going to work when she get there?
What are you talking about? Did she agree? See, what
That's what
Sajo
we're
said.
talking about. They need
when
to have an
Sajo
open
say-
conversation and
Told me,
agree.
what are you saying when they agree? Is it not easy for people to change their minds?
Okay, that one said Desha.
You're saying that agree, as if when they agree, then they can't change their minds. I don't get
So
it.
it's not set in stone. The person can change
The
mind.
person,
anytime.
you know, they now agree. They now started on. I saw the woman. In fact, there was nothing this lady did not do to this guy. Insulted the guy, did everything. The lady now went and spoke to somebody who is also her friend. That one now called the man and said that if you don't send this woman back to
You
Nigeria,
regret it.
you will regret it.
That's a friend, though.
That's her friend. Her own friend was the one telling the husband, if you don't send this woman back to Nigeria, you will regret it. That's what my guy can't begin to think.
How
How
you
he
take run
want run now. That's why the guy can't say he can't sit down. You not do as if he vex when the woman calls him. You not do as if anything happened, you know. And then he just said that he wants to go back. To go and look after the children, that his mind is not settled, you know. Based on the fact that the woman no want work. She now said,
Yeah, let's go now.
which let's go now? How you go? Who go come they pay the bills? That she would go so that the man can remain and be working.
Wonder.
So
Wonderful.
the man don't set plan now.
Intelligence.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the man now said he wants to go. She will be here working, you understand, and be sending money. He will be doing his small thing there. The woman did not want to get stranded. She knew that if she stays, maybe she not go survive. She now said, let her go.
Making the same money instead.
Making the man the same money. That's how the woman came back to Nigeria. The minute the woman go back to Nigeria like this, now so the man come out and they not marry again.
Got the kids. We're sitting care of them.
He said we'll take care
But
of
do
the
you know
kids.
that?
Sajo?
Madam
Say-
Franca, do you know that your friend is a very wicked human being?
Why?
The guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Now you see, Toby was asking about agreement some time back.
Yeah.
Where you started. You cannot, even those who have worked in Nigeria find working abroad tougher and more difficult. You cannot keep a woman in your house for years and not allow her to work. because you are one macho man providing everything, and then suddenly when you relocate and you now want her to work.
Sergio, no, misconception.
Look.
He was not the one that said she shouldn't work. The woman never worked on her own. On her own. Not because the man said do not work.
Okay.
He was going through a lot.
And the
In
man,
fact,
the man indulged her not working.
unconsciously, Sergio, sometimes some men will indulge,
No,
because maybe they don't, they quarrel.
no, it's a very conscious act.
Okay.
You see, it was when he could not take it in Canada that he came back. He strategized. He came up with that evil plot to abandon her or to scheme her into coming back to Nigeria.
No,
you see, what I will always say to couple, you see, if you're not going to have it, don't start it. From the one, what you know you will not accept in marriage, do not encourage it from the one. Now, in our strength, we weaken each other. If I was married to you, Frank, and I provided everything you needed, everybody wants to sit back. Even for some guys, you know. But if I told you that, look, I will provide X, Y, Z, but you need to work. And this is why you need to work. I keep telling you why you need to work. And then you see the man as a husband. Now, people wear that jacket of husband and think it's one prestige medal. What a husband is to a woman is one she looks up to and respects a great deal. Not one who fathers children out of pleasure. Now, if the woman had seen that man as a mentor, a husband in a reform, and he had insisted that, you know, we need to do this, you need to work, the marriage would not have survived in Nigeria, not talk of taking it abroad. If it was not working, it was not working. If it's not something you can deal with, then don't deal with it from the beginning. Not lead her over the years, and whether you agree or you softly allowed over the years, and she's not working, and then suddenly you take her to a country where it's even more difficult to work. There should be required to do sometimes multiple jobs, running from one end to the other, and maybe not with the comfort of a house manager, a driver, and all of what you have here in Nigeria. She can't cope because you've not taught her that life. And then suddenly you want to abandon her in Nigeria. He should come back and carry his problem that he created.
Okay, so Sergio, that what you just spoke about is one side to it, but I can tell you that it's not like the guy was very rich. Do you understand? The guy wasn't very rich, and he was doing business when he was in Nigeria, so he wasn't rich. He didn't have a proper job. Do you understand? He wasn't rich, and he wasn't like a fantastic. Do you understand? Now, hand to mouth. So there's no way he would have encouraged the wife, because I know, in fact,
if he was hand to mouth, there's no way he would have encouraged the wife to work.
There's no way he would have not to work. Do you understand? When I mean said hand to mouth, it's not like he was a rich guy.
Yeah, so he said there's no way he would have encouraged his wife not to work.
He was encouraged her not to work. She did not want to work.
Okay, would have wanted her to work because
yes. Because there was a situation.
Wait,
he even
how would someone not want to work when we have needs? Are they my problems? To handle a loan, to pay with?
Sergio, you never Precious.
I'm here.
Have you had situations where the man wants the wife to work and the wife is not ready to work?
Yes.
I have a situation right now.
Several
There's nothing the guy has not said for the woman to work. And they've had issues.
The foundation was wrong. I mean, you're getting to marriage. You guys are having a conversation. You will know you're not going to work. Yeah, you're going to work. You're not going to work. You're not going to work.
But
you move your way.
She no go talk. Say she no want work. She go tell you, say, okay, yeah, let me just get the right job. There's
They'll
people that will be telling you that, oh, I don't have the job. This job, I don't like it. They will give excuses. Precious, please share a story.
Sound loud.
Yeah. So I know someone who, when she was introduced to me, it was because she, how do I put it now? She already had a job before she got married.
Okay.
Her husband met her while working. And in the course of their conversations, the man didn't even know that she was serious. She kept saying, she can't wait for the time when she would stop working. And he just assumed she meant maybe motherhood, or mugo, 3 months, 6 months, something. And that's where Tommy is coming in, where because they don't, people have superficial conversations. They don't like to go deep because sometimes deep down, you also don't want to lose this person. So the man too will just say, okay, since this is what she said. Now, they now got married. And immediately after honeymoon, Auntie had, in fact, she had resigned and the man was not aware. And so honeymoon finished and the man said, oh babe, when are you resuming work? And she said, which work? She that is a full-time housewife. And she has left her job. It was not even a fulfilling kind of work. So after all, he can take care of both of them.
Without carrying him
And he said, no, this is not work.
Without carrying him along.
Sergio, what did you say?
He divorced her. Without carrying him along, how can you make such a drastic move? Come on.
That's what and that was why she was brought to me.
Exactly. That's decent. Throw her to the streets, man. What are you talking about?
Men did this because we go talk men just that your voice not go loud like this.
Now it's too deep.
Your voice not go loud. Your voice not go loud just now. Your voice not go loud when I start to talk my own. So you calm down.
Bring it on.
Some people want to be the real definition of I'm not doing anything. There's someone who does everything for me. All I do is spend his money. Unfortunately, that's not the reality.
Are you an invalid?
They will just a beautiful.
If the man drops dead tomorrow, what happens?
Sergio, you have not
they
heard
don't
cases.
care for now. They like the attention.
Sergio, you have not heard cases. I said when my friends are telling me cases of
People
women say
now.
they cannot touch anything, that they are trophy wives. There are women like that.
Franca, let me tell you something.
Sergio, please speak.
We create our wives.
Exactly.
The same way we create the husbands we marry.
Exactly.
There's no woman that comes to you and say, I don't want to work. If when you were dating, you did not encourage that irresponsibility. Oh, okay, I'll provide for you, I'll give you the word, I'll give you this. You also give the word. Do you even have a quarter of the word? I will give you everything. And you are spoiling her. Then she comes to the marriage. No.
Sandra said you have quarter of the word. Please, we don't have time anymore. I think we have just like maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes. Sergio, please, you want to round up?
All right. Yeah. What I would say is that
this conversation.
There's no script on having a better marriage, whether in Nigeria or abroad. Okay. So wherever you find yourself, sit down. Most importantly, learn to love people the way they want to be loved.
Spot on. Precious, you want to say something?
Yes, so the Japa syndrome, if you're going to Japa as a couple, husband and wife, you need to understand the main reason why you're Japaing in the first place.
Okay.
For greener pastures, are we going to do it together? What's going to... So try to anticipate if challenges come, how do you hope to face it together? Don't have a different intention and your spouse has a different intentions. Ego scatter when on a reach abroad.
Tommy, you're going to Japa with me? You want to say something?
Yeah, if it's usual, why not? but really...
Well, I was ready to walk.
But really, it's not always greener on the other side.
Okay.
So you need to be ready to expect the worst. Now, if you and your spouse are going to travel, like I said earlier, you guys need to sit down and have an agreement and understanding of what your expectation is when you get there.
Okay.
Now, if you know you cannot handle it, men, go alone, leave your wife here in Nigeria and kids, then they sponsor them from Nigeria. I mean, from abroad or wherever it is.
I don't have time. I would have fought you with this, but I don't have that time. I don't have your time.
Fight me behind the screen.
So, for me, I think basically what Sergio said is very fundamental. Make sure your marriage or your relationship is built on a very solid foundation. If you have that, you understand, you won't have issues. Tommy, like us now, we need to set our foundation right because every day we're going to fight. So please, I'll see you tomorrow.